What's up, YouTube? How's it going today? So, we're going to be doing some rear struts on a CRV. Super simple. So, 4 bolts, or 2 bolts on top, which are underneath this cover here, and over there. Still haven't popped them yet, so I'll get there. I'll show you too. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna undo that bolt there, and then the lower trailing arm bolt. That should pop it down, and that should give enough space to pop the shock out. Let me get set up, and then I'll show you what I'm working with. Alright. So, 214 mil bolts. One for the lower control arm. Or sorry, not. It's for the control arm, but for the trailing arm. And then the shock on the trailing arm. Or sorry, not. I'm bad today, sorry. The shock on the lower control arm. This gives you the ability to like move it down and then kind of wiggle the whole shock out. And then you have the 2 up here, like so. There's one down there. The 2 up there. It's easier just to replace the whole thing and not try to replace the string. It's the actual spring or the shock. It's just a waste of time. Just replace the whole thing. You tend to save money by doing it with just the strut itself, but removing the whole coil and then putting the strut back in with the old coil and everything. I don't waste my time. Reason being is because these up here, there's grommets up here. These grommets tend to get old, and you have to buy that separately. And so it's like, why not just buy a whole package? So that's why I buy a whole spring set, just like this. The whole spring, just like I said, it comes with the new top mount and new grommet and everything, so it's all ready to go. New grommets up here, and you ain't gotta worry about grommets cracking or them going old or getting old. Sorry, but it makes it easier for the install because all the bushings are brand new, and then you ain't gotta worry about failure later. So a lot of people have their own opinions. I got mine. Really, it's your opinion if you do otherwise. I like to do mine my way just because it's certainty on my end. So, but I'll get one of these in, and I'll show you what it looks like with the brand new one in. All right, back once again. So here it is. So back again, 14, bolt back into the lower trailing arm, and then your bolt back into your lower control arm, and then your 2 at the top. Can't get no better and easier than that. Super easy. Once you do it, like I said, you have room to push down the lower control arm with your foot, and then you can pop this out. Super easy. And then you go in, you use a jack. You obviously use a jack stand, hold up the car. Use a jack, push up the shock, and then it goes right in. Super easy. Literally took me several minutes. Maybe 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Easy. Easy. So, if you guys ever need to do something on a CRV, I love CRVs. They're fairly easy to work on, very open in space. So, but there it is. I've got to finish up the other side, and yeah, and we'll get a shot of that too. Alright, so we got both of them installed. There's one on the passenger side, driver's side. Like I said, super easy. Anybody can do this. If you're not even a mechanic, you can do this. There's no alignment stuff to worry about, so you're good. Everything's just pretty much you bolt it up and you go. So you ain't gotta really worry about it. We're gonna move on to the front. We're gonna get the fronts done as well. So you guys just stay tuned and whatnot. We'll get that to you as well. All right. So I got the front wheel off the driver's side. So what I like to do, geez, alarms. I loosen up the lower control arm bolt. You want to obviously get that out. I take the 14 mil bolt up here out. This is 17 mil front and back. There's a nut in the bolt. So what you intentionally want to do is you want to take this fork out, and you want to remove that, and then you can remove the whole shock. So let's see if I need to get a bigger tripod. So as you can tell, that's that. A couple love taps. Comes right off the fork. It's, like I said, very simple, straightforward. So, and then once I remove the two bolts, there's one there, one on the other side. Once I remove those two bolts, it should drop down. I can put the new one back up, put the two bolts in, and then put this assembly back together. I'm gonna get it out, and then I'll show you what it looks like brand new and looking good. Alright, so like I said, two bolts, boom. Had to move this thing out of the way. Very simple. Just has a little slide, and put it in there. I guess it was a lot harder than it looked. So slide that back in, tighten up the two bolts, got the new strut in. So what I do when I get the strut in is I normally just put the two bolts on. I'll come down here, get the fork on, tightened up, the 17 on the lower, and then the 14 on the back side there. There's like a pinch deal on the back of the shock that it pinches in between for like a safety lock. So it's always good to have that bolt. If you end up stripping it out, get a new fork. Like I said, it is important, so you need that. So that's about it. Very simple. On the passenger side, I got an axle I have to replace on that side. So I need to do that. Future, we're probably gonna do both trailing arm bushings, because I noticed those are bad. There's engine right here. This one's bad, so we're probably gonna end up changing this out. A while back, I had done the time belt water pump, but I never replaced the tensioner. I got a new tensioner. I'm gonna replace that, but we need a new oil pan, gasket, which I want to get that replaced. All the belts are new. I replaced those. I did notice, matter of fact, on this crank, if it'll focus, but it is cracking, like right there, and I'm kind of concerned about that. I don't know if it's gonna break off. I've never heard of one breaking off, but I'm pretty sure it could break off. So that's something I want to look into getting replaced before I replace the tensioner and whatnot on the belt. I did get a new valve cover gasket for it. What else? I think that's really about it. Like I said, I'm gonna do the passenger side. I need to do an axle on that side, so we're gonna do a little bit more to that side, and I'll show you. Won't get into depth, but I'll show you what you need to do. So we'll see you on the other side. Haha. Alright, so for this side, since I'm doing the CV axle, I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's why I'm doing the CV axle. The boot was ripped and been exposed for a good while, so it's, yeah, no good. So it's ordinary to do that. 36 mil bolt, or should I say nut. Do it with this socket here. 36. I put a nice, decent, thick flathead in the rotor, and then I use a breaker bar with another breaker bar on the end of that. Give me some leverage to get it, since I don't have the tools, which I'm going to invest in the Milwaukee Impact eventually. Right now time's tight, so can't really do that, but eventually I'm gonna get an electric impact, so that way I can do mobile jobs a little bit easier, especially with the ratchet. I want to buy the ratchet too, but gotta invest, gotta save some money. I'm gonna try to get this tidied up, and we'll get some more video of what we're doing. Oh yeah, one other thing. So like on the driver's side, so we're gonna remove that bolt there. I'm gonna remove that. So that's the 14, 17 is down there, and then we are gonna remove the lower ball joint down here. That way we can get the axle out, and that should be able to take this whole knuckle and swing it out, and we'll be able to get the CV out and whatnot. So stay tuned, guys. Alright, so I got the old axle out, new one's in, not tightened down yet, bolts off. Like I said, you have to take this bolt off. I don't know if you can't see it. Maybe I'll do it from the other side. Damn sun. So take this lower bolt off. You can't really see it. The sun's messing it up. So take that lower bolt off. Some people put a pickle fork underneath there to break the ball joint loose. I don't like to do that. I put the nut, leave the nut hanging on there, and I'll hit it with a sledgehammer, break it, hit it like a good 2 or 3 times, pretty decent, and then kind of lift up on it to see if it broke it loose. Normally with the 3rd hit, good smack, it'll lift loose. That's what I like to do. Makes it easier. You don't destroy the ball joint with the pickle fork, and so that way you're not having to replace that crap. So I'm gonna get this buttoned up. We got the new shock in there. You have to take the fork off to take the CV out anyways, so it was a good time to do all of it in one, and that's what I was waiting for with the struts in the first place, to do the CV and then do the strut. It's easier just to do it in one versus doing it twice and whatnot. But get the rest of this bolted up, and then that'll be it for that. Alright, so got that tightened up, made sure you dented it so that way it can't back out. You don't want that to happen, so did that. Got the lower bolt in with the cotter pin, gotta have that. Everything else is back in, so we're gonna do a rotation, put the front tire on the back tire on the front, because a little bit of wear. Anytime that you have tires, you always want to rotate them so that way they get even wear on both sides. Future things that we're going to do on this thing, like I said in the other video, or in the other clip, should I say, we're going to be getting the rear trailing arm bushings, because they're both cracked, so we're going to replace that. I noticed that the rear, or the front lower trans mount was cracked and broke as well, so we're going to get one of those. We're going to do the driver's side lower one as well, in a pan gasket with an oil change. So there's a couple issues that we're going to get tidied up and fixed. The trans has an issue, like when you let off the gas and you go kind of get back into it, it kind of hits a little bit. I'm thinking it's a torque converter, so we might end up replacing that here sometime too on this thing. Here's all the junk. Struts were bad, very soft, squishy. Obviously, axle was bad. So get those new parts on there. I am gonna run to the auto parts store and get a fill filter, so that way that's changed out, because I don't think we've changed that. We've done the wires, the cap, the plugs, and I think that's about it. Oh, and the timing belt a while back with new drive belts on that side. I do smell coolant when this thing is running. I don't know where it's leaking from. I can smell it into the cab, but there's no moisture being created on the inside. So I don't know if it's the heater core or if it's a leak on the outside and I'm just smelling it. So I'm gonna have to address that, figure that out, and we'll get this thing tidied up. I'm gonna do clean the bay. It's really dirty. I think it might need a new battery too, because when you start it, the cranking, it's kind of getting lower and lower, so I think it might need a new battery. I'm going to test the alternator, see if the alternator is still good, but and then check the battery as well. I think the battery's old anyways, but for the most part, I'm done here.
I've ordered a bunch of parts for the Demon Child. I'm changing directions on the K-Swap sedan. So stay tuned on it. I'm going to be doing a few things different. I wanted to put in a hydro brake and do all new brake lines and all that fancy jazz and whatnot, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it all stock. I want to get it running for the summer so I can cruise with some of my friends and have a good time with it. But I hope you guys like the little bit of content that I could bring to you. Stay tuned in the future and let me know. Well, I guess just stay tuned in the future. Just stay updated on future builds and future cars being worked on. Like I said, I'm going to be working on the Demon Child, aka the K-Swap sedan. And bring you guys some of that. Still got a lot of work to do, but like I said, I got a lot of parts on the way. I had bought in a few parts, but I get those in the video. I haven't posted the parts yet because I wanted to get them in the Demon Child videos and bring that to you in the videos instead of me doing little small glimpses or small updates. So stay tuned for that. I hope you guys like. If you do, hit the thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the thumbs down. Subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys like. Send me your projects. Let me know what you're working on. All right, guys. J Auto Fab out. Take it easy.